What does the dream lineup in the Central Division look like, and what are some of the best players that the Central Division has to offer? We find out that and more on Locked On Wilds.
You're Locked On Wild, your daily podcast on the Minnesota Wild, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Locked On Wild, your daily Minnesota Wild podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making Locked On Wild your first listen every day. And just a friendly reminder, we are free and available on every platform that you listen to podcasts. On today's episode of Locked On Wild, we take a look at some of the best that the Central Division has to offer at each of the respective positions. We'll also take a look at what an optimized Central Division lineup might look like, taking players from every team throughout the division. We'll also talk a little bit about the Wild's preseason game coming up against the Avalanche and what is going on with Marco Rossi not playing. All that and more coming up on today's episode. My name is Seth Topal, host of Locked On Wild, veteran Minnesota sports content producer, and covering the Minnesota Wild for the second consecutive season. Here giving you as much Wild content as you can possibly handle. And I am joined by a regular contributor, the alternate captain for Locked On Wild, Zach Zeman. Zach, another so-so weekend for Minnesota sports. The Vikings.
Yeah, I mean,
fortunate.
It is what it is. I should sew like an A on my clothes every time I come on here. like I'm Felino, I'm Dumba. No, but like I don't know. Vikings are the Vikings. The Vikings are gonna Viking. That's just how it is. But this is why we talk about hockey and not football, right? No.
Right.
So I want to mention that intro song is like I was just like bopping up and down.
Into that.
Like that's the best song ever. I don't know. It kind of gets you in the mood. Like we're here. It's fun. I made a pretty solid roster of all the best Central Division players. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun episode. Yeah, the Rossi news too. Whatever, but. We'll talk about it. It'll be exciting. So I'm ready when you are, baby.
We are going to bounce around, as mentioned, covering a lot of ground here today. And so why don't we just hop in? The Wild playing a preseason game against the Colorado Avalanche this evening. And you look at the roster that the Wild will be throwing out there for this preseason game to start off the week. And it has a lot of the regular crew that will be in the lineup. I mean, you look up and down, you've got Joel Eriksson-Ek, Kirill Kaprizov, Matt Zuccarello, you got Kevin Fiala, Marcus Foligno, Jordan Greenway, Nico Sturm, Ryan Hartman, Victor Rask, Freddie Gaudreau. Pretty much all of the starting offense, the regulars out there, the top defenders out there as well. And so this is going to be a pretty good taste of what we will see once the regular season starts. But at the same time, there is one name that is missing. I mean, Matt Boldy is on the roster, but no Marco Rossi here for this preseason action against the Avs. And Zach, I wanted to start kind of with that. I mean, is it something that we should be concerned about, or is it just at this point just trying to get kind of the regulars worked in, and then we'll see Rossi worked into the next couple of preseason games? I would think if they weren't going to have him be in the final mix for a spot, that he would be sent down already. So maybe just an off day. What do you think?
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting because this is like the roster of the main guys who are expected to start in this lineup. So it's kind of interesting to see that Rossi's not in it. I think Rossi played in one of the first two games. I think the first one wasn't even televised, so I couldn't even get to watch it and stuff like that. But like, I mean, those first two rosters are giving a lot of prospects, the show and seeing what they're really made out of. But yeah, it really is interesting to see Rossi's not in this. We know Rossi's one of our best prospects coming in. alongside Matt Boldy for like the comparison. Boldy and Rossi is just like the names, the two that are always in the same sentence together. So it's kind of interesting to see that Boldy gets the start here and that Rossi sits out. But there's still a couple games left. I mean, you got 3 following this one, at least 3 that I saw on the schedule. So, I mean, Rossi still gets a chance to make the other lineups when, players like Kaprizov are going to be sitting out, obviously. I mean, like I said, this is just like the roster of all the main guys. They finally get to get some game in them against real NHLers, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But it is really just weird to see that Rossi's sitting out. Hopefully it's not too bad. I think it's just because there's still games following this one, and it doesn't have to be exactly this game. But it is kind of concerning to see him not, starting with the main guys already, which is interesting. So
yeah, it would be nice to. And as you said, the first couple of games were, I think, delayed broadcasts, but were not televised as they're happening. So it would be nice to get a chance to see Rossi as the preseason unfolds. So we'll just chalk it up to a day of rest and hope that he gets in later in the week.
Yeah, not too concerning yet.
Yeah. If it happens a second consecutive game,
we'll be back. We'll be back out here.
I think we're fine for now. So with all of that, and we're getting closer and closer to the start of the season, we've been trying to do a little bit more with the Central Division to try to familiarize ourselves with the opponents and some of the teams and players that we'll be seeing regularly. So we are going to kind of try to pick some of the best that the Central Division has to offer. And I know you had a chance to kind of optimize your lineup, cherry picking players from every team throughout the Central. So let's hit that before the break, and then we'll come back and we'll try to kind of dive into who has the best at the respective positions throughout the division. So
yeah, I made a lineup. I mean, I didn't necessarily match up these defensemen like, oh, this one's a left-handed shooter, this one's a right-handed shooter. That's not what I'm thinking about here. I'm just pinpointing that the Central Division's finally back together. We've emphasized that a lot, and just kind of giving you guys, the viewers here, a good idea of who to watch for this season. Now that the Wild's main games are back against their division rivals. Let's start with the goalies. The Central Division is stacked this year with goalies. I kind of like juggle them a little. I put Connor Hellebuyck as the starter. I originally put Talbot as the backup, but then I was like, well, there's Fleury, there's Binnington, and I'm going to get a lot of hate if I'm really biased and put Talbot in there. But I just put Binnington. I don't know. Binnington's been the Wild's kryptonite forever. I mean, last season, the Blues were just able to sweep past the Wild a couple of times.
Yeah,
with Binner in that. So I want to see who you put. I mean, like, who are your best goalies in the Central? I like to hear that.
Well, it's fascinating. I mean, I think just because of like what he means to that team, I think you got to go Hellebuyck.
Yeah,
just like there is nobody really behind him on that Jets roster, and he just like he starts like every day. So I would put him. And I think for this season, at least not seeing like how things play out, I think I would go Marc-Andre Fleury as the backup. But if he does have any sort of a slip, then I am certainly willing to amend that after the season. But I think those are probably the 2 best goalies that this division has to offer, with nods to some of the other guys. I mean, Cam Talbot was sensational last year. You've also got Jordan Binnington, as you mentioned. Going to be real interesting to see what happens with Darcy Kemper. And Dallas has such a weird goalie situation. I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, like, Hudobin took him to the Cup final. Like, what? And then he's kind of off of it a little bit. I don't know. But then they have like Bishop too, I think. I don't know.
And then they have Edinger too. As a young up and comer. And I don't know, do you just timeshare that with those 3 or?
Absolutely no idea. I have no idea what they do.
Truly bizarre.
Hudobin used to be great. I mean, he was great
last
year in the playoffs, or last fall. But yeah, I mean, yeah, The Central Division stacked with goalies. The Wild are gonna have a tough time, but I mean, Hellebuyck, Bennington, Fleury. I mean, even Talbot. I mean, just because we're Wild guys here, Talbot played a really great season last year, so that was really good to see out of him.
They also have Braden Holtby, apparently.
Really? Who? The Stars? Oh, I don't even know. Oh, wow. Yeah. Whatever. I have no idea. I mean,
Weird.
Braden Holtby, Capitals legend.
That is.
I didn't even know that. I'm kind of I didn't even know that.
Bizarre. I tell you what. In fact, I think we're going to just take a second to try to kind of gather ourselves after that news, and so we'll come back and we'll discuss more of our optimized roster for the Central Division, as well as which teams in the Central have some of the best players to offer in the division. More of our Central Division chatter coming up here on Locked On Wilds. Does this sound familiar? You've got one device that lets you catch the game live, another that lets you stream your favorite shows, you're watching sports highlights on your phone, and you've got your neighbor's best friend's login for the good stuff. Well, I want to tell you about a simple way to get all that entertainment you love without the hassle, and a great way to finally get your TV together. It's called DirecTV Stream, and it brings your live TV and on-demand favorites together like never before, so you can watch your favorite sports, movies, and shows all in one place. That means no more juggling remotes and no need to buy another device ever again. And the best part? There is no annual contract. So get rid of the clutter and the confusion and get your TV together with DirecTV Stream. You can learn more at directtv.com. That's directtv.com. Compatible device required. Content varies by package. Hey, Wild fans. This is Seth Topol with an incredible app that everyone who buys gas needs to know about. Get Upside. My listeners are making up to 25 cents for every gallon of gas every time they fill up. Just download the free Get Upside app in the App Store or Google Play right now. Make sure to use the promo code HOCKEY and get a bonus 25 cents per gallon on your first fill up. That's up to 50 cents cash back. Don't pay the full price at the pump ever again. Get cash back using Get Upside. Just download the app for free and use the promo code HOCKEY to get up to 50 cents per gallon cash back on your first tank. Some people who drive a lot are making as much as $200 to $300 a month in cash back, and there's no catch. The cash back gets added right to your account. You can cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use the promo code HOCKEY to save today. Continuing today's episode of Locked On Wild, Seth Topol and Zach Zeman with you. Thank you for making Locked On Wild your number one listen every day. All right, Zach, now that we've had a chance to kind of take a breath and collect ourselves after that Braden Holtby news.
Shaking up my world.
Man, I did not expect to be rocked that hard by that news, and yet, here we are. So let's continue to kind of go through your lineup, and we'll break it down as we go. So if you want to start on defense, forwards, whichever way you want to go, let's rock.
Let's start forwards. First line, left winger, Jason Roberts. No, I'm kidding. We're going Kirill Kaprizov. Come on. Yeah. Why not? We got to take a shot here. Kirill Kaprizov's a game changer. We all saw what he could do with this team. I mean, do you really want me to keep talking about him? I think we've said enough about his game. He is the answer for not only the Minnesota Wild, but now he's just one of the star players in this division. I mean, clearly the Calder winner for a reason. It's just a beauty. Imagine this line. Ready? I was thinking about this. Kaprizov, McKinnon, and Kane. Like, you know how crazy, like, the fast and just the handles these kids have? It's just, like, ridiculous. I thought that would just – I just put those guys up top on one. Like I said, this isn't necessarily, like, first line, right, left shooter. This is just, like, the top guys in the division. I also added Landeskog. I know he has a funny contract. A lot of guys are talking about. Probably got overpaid, but whatever. Yeah, Landeskog's good. He's there. He's consistent. Obviously, the Avalanche are a fiery offensive team for a reason. I got a lot of Avalanche players up in these first two lines. I got O'Reilly. O'Reilly's just been killing the Wild recently. He's just a beauty. Conn Smythe winner for a reason. Kid's still amazing. I mean, there's not much. I mean, what about O'Reilly? Isn't it like his toe is like extremely bent weird, or maybe it's his tape job? Something about his stick. I don't know. I don't know why. When I just think of Ryan O'Reilly, I think of like his stick. I don't know why. And then Mikko Rantanen, I don't know. He has hella points from last season.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can say hella. Whoops. Hellebuyck.
Oh, yeah, you can.
Right? Hellebuyck. No, he's a star player for a reason. Mikko Rantanen, Gabriel Landeskog, and Nathan McKinnon. I mean, come on, the Avalanche for a reason. And then it kind of gets whatever, picky and choosy over here. But I like DeBrincat. He's pretty. I think he's young. I mean, obviously he's young, but DeBrincat's been a great player for the Blackhawks. They're back on the rise, hopefully, pretty soon here. I didn't even think of Taze. Jeez. But then Mark Scheifele, I don't know, Pavel Buchnevich coming in with the Blues. I think he's going to be a star for them. I remember them signing him. I don't even know if they traded him, but Pavel Buchnevich is coming into the Central Division. He's a problem. You got to look out for him. And then like Kyle Connor, left wing, Eriksson Ek, Nikola Ehlers. I don't know. These are just the guys the big names in this division that I think are really important for not only their teams, but just like points wise in this division. I don't know. I'd like to hear what you think here. I'll bounce off of you what you have to say. I think we matched a lot probably.
Here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to rifle through the top lines that the Central Division is going to throw out there, and I'll offer up my 2 cents on what we'll see from other teams. We'll start with the Dallas Stars, who will be able to throw Jason Robertson, Rupe Hintz, and Joe Pavelski as their top line. Not bad. I mean, yeah. Robertson is solid, and those other two guys are wily vets as well. Top line in the division: Landeskog, McKinnon, and Mikko Rantanen. That's
like just goal scorers, just absolute stars. I mean, the Avalanche are cup favorites for a reason for you bettors out there, but I don't know. I mean, their offense is great, but I'm going to go back to Darcy Kuemper. You never know. No,
that could be a major problem. Yeah. I keep repeating this take because I like the way it sounds, and I just want to keep speaking it into existence. Is the play of Darcy Kuemper, I think, could impact the entirety of the Central Division. If he's good, Colorado wins it in a landslide. If he is not, wide open.
It's almost fair game, but like the Avalanche defense, I mean, we haven't even talking about defenders yet, but like, I mean, they're pretty good on D2, but we'll just have to see what happens. I mean, it's going to be crazy if Darcy Kuemper doesn't play like he used to for Arizona. I think a couple years ago, he just played out of his mind. I mean, I could see the Wild going up. I could see the Blues going up. I could, the Jets. I mean, this division is just almost so coin flippy. In a weird term. I think it's the closest division here. So
yeah, I would agree. Some of these other lines, the Blues, David Perron, Ryan O'Reilly, and Jordan Kyrou it's real nice.
Scary.
Then we also have we've got the Coyotes, Clayton Keller, Nick Schmaltz, and Phil Kessel.
Rebuild. It's all right.
Yeah.
They got the Kachina, all right? They got the Kachina.
Yes, that's the only win that matters for Arizona this year is getting those jerseys back. Like,
that's the storyline.
That's all they needed. The Predators have Philip Forsberg, Ryan Johansson, and Matt Duchene. Now, these are all coming from the Daily Face-Off. I was trying to pull off of ESPN like last week, and they still had like 2020 players.
Fantasy stuff. Yeah.
I'm like, these aren't right. So then I was told Daily Face-Off is the spot to go. I'm still learning as a hockey content producer, so I won't make that mistake ever again.
Yeah.
The Jets are going Kyle Connor, Mark Scheifele, and Blake Wheeler. That's not bad.
Studs.
And then for the Blackhawks, you have DeBrincat, Tyler Johnson, and Patty Kane. And then, of course, for our favorite hockey team, Kirill Kaprizov, Joel Eriksson Ek, and Matt Zuccarello. I think the Wild are in probably the top 3 or 4.
Yeah. I like the
Colorado's
here.
Colorado's definitely better.
Colorado's probably the best. And then I'd say Wild, Blues, Jets. Jets are great too. I'm sleeping on the Jets because I don't know. We haven't seen them in a year. So it'll be interesting to see what the Jets can do. I think they're sleeper in this division, to be honest. They could make some noise real quick.
I like that, and I don't know. I like those jerseys. I like the Jets. I like their logo. It's all superb. It's all superb.
The Jets and Wild are a slept-on rivalry too. I mean, the Jets always travel so well to the X. It's like their fans like scream during the Canadian national anthem, and it like echoes through the X. I swear, like it's crazy. They travel well. I mean, we're pretty close to Winnipeg and St. Paul. I think it's like I don't know. Winnipeg's the closest city in Canada, I think. Oh geez, I'm not a geography major here, but no, yeah, I definitely like. If it wasn't the Blues in the Winter Classic, I would have liked to see the Jets because I know they would. I know that would pack Target Field. That would have been cool.
That'd be spiffy. So yeah, that's a look at the offense, and safe to say the Avalanche are kind of carrying things in the division offensively, but the Wild certainly very good, as you mentioned. The Jets, that top line for them is perfectly good. Like. There's a lot of nice firepower here in the Central Division, but as we'll see next, when it comes to defense, again, got to circle back to the state of hockey. So we'll finish off our conversation about the best the Central Division has to offer. That is coming up next here on Locked On Wild. When it comes to hiring, there's no shame in needing an assist to score. Indeed has helped businesses stay competitive with their hiring, and they can do it for you too. If hiring for the open positions on your team feels impossible right now, you don't need a Hail Mary. You just need Indeed. The perfect job candidate is looking for you, but until you use Indeed, you're not doing everything you can to look for them. Finding great talent doesn't have to be a second job. You can hire faster and better than ever with Indeed. Indeed is the #1 source of hires in the U.S. according to Talent Nest, and Indeed delivers 1.5 times more hires than even internal referrals, also according to Talent Nest. 73% of all online job seekers in the U.S. visit Indeed each month, according to ComScore for total visits. And you can get started right now with a $75 sponsored job credit to upgrade your job post at Indeed.com/lockedon. So make sure to take advantage of that $75 credit at Indeed.com/lockedon. Indeed.com/lockedon. Offer valid through December 31st. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. This fall, Built Bar is helping you celebrate freedom of choice. Did you know Built Bar has amazing flavors all up and down their lineup, including coconut, cherry barcia, raspberry mint brownie, double chocolate, salted caramel, strawberry orange, cookies and cream, and German chocolate. Unfortunately, though, for all those fans of fall, no pumpkin spice yet. My favorite is raspberry for what it's worth, but if you're not sure where to start your Built Bar adventure, grab a mixed box, which contains 2 each of those 9 flavors. Not only are Built Bars amazing tasting, they are amazingly healthy as well. Each Built Bar contains 17 to 18 grams of protein, ranges in calories from 130 to 180, contains only 4 to 5 grams of sugar, and only 4 to 5 grams of net carbs. Amazing tasting, amazingly healthy. What's not to like about Built Bar? So go to Built.com and use the promo code LOCKED15 and you'll get 15% off of your order. Again, use the promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at Built.com. Final segment of today's episode of Locked on Wild. Again, thank you for making Locked on Wild your first listen every day. Seth Topol and Zach Zeman wrapping up our look at who has the best to offer in the Central Division, and we're going to pull it to the defense now. Zach, who made the cut for your optimized Central Division roster?
I'm going to start with Cale Makar. I just like this kid is such a beauty. I mean, he's the 2019-2020 Calder winner for a reason. I was kind of just thinking about this. You got Jason Robertson, Kirill Kaprizov, and Cale Makar all just Calder finalists. If not, Jason Robertson obviously didn't win. But the rookies and the prospects in this division are going to be top guys pretty soon. Like they were voted, I don't know. They're all just finalists for the call. I just thought that was really interesting to see that this division's on the rise. You know what I'm talking about.
For sure.
I also like Roman Yosi. I know he's like not really talked. Yeah, I don't know. I just think he's just been a consistent veteran, just a point getter. I don't know. He's just a beast. I just know the name is very recognizable. Roman Yosi for the Nashville Predators. Always a very consistent defenseman. Another one that caught my eye, John Klingberg, always there for the Dallas Stars. He played exceptionally well when they made their cup run last fall. So that was just a good note. But I'm not even talking about the Minnesota Wild defenseman, Spurgeon, Brodin, Goligoski. I mean, seriously, the Central Division is stacked. I mean, obviously, if we were talking about any other division, we would just be naming the top guys. But I really do think the Central Division carry a lot of the top guys in this league. Even the Jacob Chikrin coming in with Arizona here, Colton Parayko, just to name a few more. I'd like to see what you put on here. I want to hear these lines.
Well, you gotta go with Spurgeon and Brodin probably as two of the top defensemen in this division.
I didn't even name them.
And the other thing too is like you talk about those two, and then you have the fascinating dynamic of Seth Jones being good, but probably overpaid.
Yeah.
Cale Makar being great and probably being underpaid.
Man, I'm really sleeping on Seth Jones. Like, I'm really sleeping on him. I was really shocked to see that contract, but
it's a lot of money.
Do the Blackhawks organization see more in him than I do? Probably. I mean, isn't he on the team with his brother now? I mean, that's kind of cool.
I believe so.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. That's a really cool storyline with Chicago. They haven't been making too much noise recently. It'll be interesting to see how they place and how they really work against these other Central Division teams. It's going to be a great year in the Central. I mean,
it is.
The fact that it all got kind of chopped up last year and now everyone's coming back with like a lot of them made the playoffs too. It's going to be interesting to see. I love it.
One thing I want to also rattle down here before we finish is, again, courtesy to the Daily Face-Off, because what I'm about to do is read you off the top power play unit that is projected for every team in the Central. And we'll see which one is the filthiest. That's how we'll leave it today.
Let's do it.
So, first off, we go to the Minnesota Wild, who are right now looking like Matt Zuccarello, Victor Rask, Kirill Kaprizov, Jared Spurgeon, and Kevin Fiala. Interesting. But I don't hate it.
We'll go with it.
The Blackhawks, Jonathan Taves, Tyler Johnson, Patty Kane, Alex DeBrincat, and Seth Jones.
Those are names.
Real,
those are names.
Real nice.
Yeah,
real
those are
nice. The Jets, Blake Wheeler, Mark Scheifele, Nikolai Ehlers, Kyle Connor, and Josh Morrissey.
Studs.
That is a
scary power play.
Yeah, this is very not bad. The Predators, Matt Duchene, Ryan Johansson, Philip Forsberg, Eli Tolvanen, and Roman Yosi.
Yeah, I like Roman Yosi. I just said it, but we'll see.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
This is where we hit a little bit of a speed bump.
God.
The Coyotes.
Yeah.
Lawson Cruz, Nick Schmaltz, Clayton Keller, Phil Kessel, and Jacob Chikrin.
Welcome to the Central.
Yeah, I welcome that power play unit. See if they even score once. The Blues, now this could change depending on what happens with the guy that is right winging the first unit. Jordan Kyrou, Ryan O'Reilly, Vladimir Tarasenko, Torrey Krug, and David Perron. That is that's wily.
I'm afraid of the St. Louis Blues. That Winter Classic game is going to be insane. I keep saying that, but no, the St. Louis Blues, that power play is scary. I'm on that. That's like the team I'm most concerned about this year in the Central is the St. Louis Blues by far. So
I found our winner.
Wonder who it could be.
Yeah. Gabriel Landeskog, Nazem Kadri, Mikko Rantanen, Nathan MacKinnon, Cale Makar.
Yeah, what the heck? Come on. How much? I would love to see how much those guys are all getting paid. Like the most multi-million-dollar power play of all time. Like, geez.
Yeah. And then, not to be outdone, the Dallas Stars with Joe Pavelski, Jamie Benn, Alexander Radulov, Tyler Seguin, and John Klingberg.
Not bad. Really not bad. Like, Jamie Benn's still a name. Tyler Seguin's still a name. Veterans in this league, they know how the power play works, so it's not their first trip to the rodeo.
Check this out for the second power play unit for the Wild. You ready for this?
Yeah, let's do it.
Ryan Hartman, Joel Eriksson-Ek, Matt Boldy, Matt Dumba, and Alex Goligoski.
Yeah. Defensive depth. That's just the note right there. Boldy, though. I like Boldy. Boldy's a big guy. I feel like he can definitely make waves.
I would love.
Yeah.
I'm on record. I would love to see him make the team. And according to the Daily Face-Off, their roster projection, they have him right now paired up with Nico Sturm and Nick Bjugstad.
Interesting. That is interesting. Hopefully Bjugstad can radiate some energy back to those guys. I really like Bjugstad needs to step up a little bit. I feel like he could get replaced, but we'll see. He's got to step up, but he took a big pay cut, which I'm fine with. So that'll be interesting too. It'll just be interesting to see how this depth carries out for this team. No doubt.
That'll be one of the big things is
as
long as everybody stays healthy, I think this team is going to be fine.
Yeah.
If we have some injuries, this might be one of the first times where we can say, like, if there are injuries to certain players, you have replacements ready in Iowa that could take their jobs and never come back.
Very much so. Yes. Like Addison even.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he could just stay for good pretty soon.
Especially if this third line defensive pairing right now is Dmitry Kulikov and John Merrill. Like,
there you could do multiple combinations here. I mean, feels pretty good.
It does. It just need to get hockey here. Like,
finally.
Just get it here.
12 days away. Can you believe it? I'm so excited. I literally just got goosebumps. Like, that's exciting. Finally.
It's exciting, and just wait till we roll out the wagon for opening night.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, just wait.
Gonna be great. Well, I think that's a good spot to leave it for today's episode. So hopefully you took away some of the names to remember here in the Central Division this season, and also where some of the better players in the division are situated. We'll, of course, be talking about them plenty as the rest of the season rolls on. And just a reminder now that your first listen of the day is done with Locked On Wild, make sure your second listen is Locked On Fantasy Hockey. Host Scott Cullen leans on his decades of fantasy hockey insight and experience every day to help you be the expert of your fantasy league. Locked On Fantasy Hockey is free and available on all podcast platforms. Got to get into fantasy hockey mood because it's about time for a draft or 12.
Are we foreshadowing here?
A little bit.
But yeah, obviously, once again, thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure to be on here. Several more to come.
Yes.
It's about to get underway. Things are about to happen on this thing, so just get ready.
Locked on Wild getting ready to go to the moon.
Locked on Wild stock is just booming.
Yep. Never higher.
Never.
Make sure to follow Zach at Zach Zeman _ on Twitter. Also, you can follow me at Seth Topes, other side of the screen. I got mixed up. Also, Locked on Wild, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube channel. Be on the lookout for a video coming up. Also, highlighting what to watch for in the Wild's preseason game against the Avalanche, and much more throughout the days and weeks to come. Locked on Wild also will have episodes for you every Monday through Friday, new episodes every Monday through Friday. So make sure to check them out as part of the Locked On Podcast Network.